I'm Peter Haddock and I'm here at HxGN Live, and we're talking about surveying, we've been talking about digging, we've been talking about mining, all these different things, but the data that all comes out from all of this different surveying and techniques actually needs to form useful information, and that's where you come in with your software. Tell us a little bit about the business and what you're doing and why you're at HxGN Live today.
That's right, Peter. So basically, TopoDOT, it fits in that space between the data collection and basically the extraction of the deliverables, the information-rich models and features and analysis that feed downstream operations. So, as we were talking about before, if you what's happening in the field of survey is very exciting. You've got new equipment like the mobile scanners, the Pegasus series, the static scanners. Everything's taking 1 million points a second.
Well.
Drones, of course, everything's there. But in essence, they're taking 3D pictures.
Yeah.
And 3D pictures, you can look at that data and you know everything that's there. It's like looking at a common picture that you take with your camera.
Yeah.
You understand everything that's in there. When you look at the data, it's just points. And our customers have to basically be able to extract from that data actionable features that explain the information content and explain what's in that model. So, for example, if we focus on transportation corridors, civil infrastructure, bridges, things like that. You can get 1 million points on a road, and if you look at that 3D image, 3D point cloud, you know it's a road. But what engineers want is the edge of the pavement. They want to know where the flow line is. They want to know what points are along the road. They want to know if there's a pothole somewhere. They want to know if there's a fire hydrant. They don't want 10,000 points. They want a fire hydrant. And they only need 1 point and say, that's a fire hydrant there. They don't need 10,000. Even though, so some of the things are redundant in this, right? You don't need 1 million points to describe a wall, even though you'll get them. You need 4 points on each corner of the wall. What TopoDOT does is extract those features, and we have a lot of automated tools and processes to extract them very efficiently. So, in essence, the real exciting thing that's happened is that surveying has moved back. The collection has been expedited by orders of magnitude. Tremendous. You're driving down the road and taking millions of points per second, and that extraction process, instead of being in the field on the site, has been moved to the office.
Right. Yeah.
And that creates a new dynamic, which was the whole industry had to get their arms around. 10 years ago when I was doing this, everybody wanted to know what they were going to do with their 100 field crews. There's not really 100 field crews anymore, which doesn't hurt anybody because there's not that many surveyors out there. So you move it back, so the surveyors are still collecting that information. They're making sure that everything's correct, that they're doing that, they're mapping it to the correct points. They're still applying their surveying skills to this new technology, and that new technology is then brought into the office where a new kind of technician, an extraction technician, call them what you want, the TopoDOT technician in our world, but other softwares work in other niches that do very interesting things in other markets, in other applications. But the bottom line is they're extracting that information now in the office. And what makes it so exciting is not only is it faster, better, cheaper, safer to do it that way, is that they're so comprehensive, the data's so comprehensive, you can keep going back to your data. You can keep going back and finding more things. So we're kind of rounding that corner too. In addition to TopoDOT, we have something called TopoShare, which is basically how does engineers go back a month, 6 months later and say, hey, by the way, you guys gave us all these line work, you gave us all the features from edge of pavement. I noticed you have these houses over here. Could you tell me where they are? And they go, and you don't have to go back to the site anymore. You go to your computer, you pull out that data, and you go tell the gentleman, okay, we'll have it for you in 10 minutes. I'll extract it for you and tell you where that house is, how far it is, what the clearance is under a bridge. Can you get your equipment under a power line? All that stuff is at your fingertips.
And so for me, what's interesting is all of a sudden you're taking this surveyor that's got to go to something, say, that's a chair, that's a table, that's a curb, that's a fire hydrant, and put it into their surveying equipment through the tablet. And now that's taken away, so the surveyor can actually concentrate on doing the job rather than all of these tiny little bits of input that then takes the day or more to do something which can be now done in a matter of minutes. And like you said earlier, when you've got drivable things like the Pegasus and underground surveying, ground penetrating radar surveying now, all put onto one car like we see today, then all of that can go into one spot, can't it?
You're right, and it can, and there's this concept of called digital twins, which it's been floating around a bit, and people are still trying to get their head around it, exactly what they are and what they should be. But basically, it's going to come. It's going to come to that. You have these digital models of comprehensive models of everything that's out there, and the productivity goes incredibly high. We're just experiencing productivity on the front end now because a standard highway survey, for example, a highway survey of 10 miles might have taken 3 months back in doing the other thing. Now it takes 2 days maybe of driving, and then the surveyor's job now is he's kind of focusing on just putting reference points down that are in the right geospatial location, so we can take all that data in there and put it down to basically whatever level accuracy you need. You can meet the original survey accuracies that were captured back in the day by one. You can still do that with this amazing point cloud. But as I said before, there's so much, it's so information rich. We can extract information from that and use it across all downstream operations, really, from safety to construction to engineering, to design, to operations, to maintenance. It just doesn't end.
So we've got lots and lots of opportunities here. We're taking lots of points, but turning it into real things that people can associate, things that people can look at over a period of time and maybe translate to say, this is how the road structure was on that day, here's all the potholes, here's where we surveyed it when those have been completed, and all the rest of it. So we can have all that timeline, all that stored data, but fundamentally we know that it's a fire hydrant, it's a curb, it's a pothole, and therefore we can say and give that into the reality of the teams that have got to do the work. And TopoDOT, all the information's right there. It's brilliant.
It's right, and that's the way it works. And we basically move that surveyor back into the office, and we're repeating the same process there.
Fantastic. Look, great to see you here at HxGN Live.
Thank you, Peter.
And enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you,
Cheers.
Peter. Appreciate it. It's been great.
Thanks.